Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Inner Path podcast. I'm your host Bia, and as always, I'm really excited to be here. And this episode it's like the first time I do something like this. I really feel like it's important for me to talk about it, considering it's on theme for, the season. Valentine's Day is coming, and I know that can be a very like bittersweet moment, especially for the single girls out there. But I really want to bring a twist to it. As someone that teaches about self-love and having a relationship with yourself, I feel like it would make no sense for me to not bring this episode to life, to the podcast, to my girls. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited. I can't wait to just allow this conversation in and really help you reflect, get some ideas, and hopefully have a date by yourself, okay? That is the goal of today's episode. If you've been listening to the show for a while and you love it as much as I do, make sure that you're reviewing it with 5 stars. That really helps a lot. And let's just jump right into it. I really want this to just be out there. And yeah, so let's give back a little. I always have some context to everything that I do, obviously. And you probably already know that I'm very big on creating a relationship with yourself. For me, that is so freaking important. Like, it's the most important thing ever in your life. And maybe that might sound like an exaggeration to you. Like, I mean, you're not the most important thing, but you really are. Like, your relationship with yourself is the most important thing you will ever have in your entire life. And I will explain to you just how much. I'm sure throughout this podcast I will talk a lot about it, because again, we're talking about dating yourself. So having a relationship with yourself is definitely required for you to date yourself and to be your own lover, which feels like a foreign concept to a lot of you guys, which is okay. I'm here to teach you about it. I'm here to clarify everything. I am here to inspire you to show up for yourself in a way that you've never done before. So again, back with the context. I talk a lot about self-love and having a relationship with yourself because it really is that important. And because I had to learn the hard way that it was important, right? Like, I really went through such intense moments in my life, throughout my entire childhood and adolescence, where I felt very disconnected from myself. I felt very disconnected from my identity. For so long, I didn't know who I was. For so long, I was trying. I wanted people to like me, right? I wanted people to love me. I wanted people to validate me. I wanted people to see me, because I thought that maybe if they did, I would feel good about myself. I would feel like I belonged. But the truth is, I was chasing after a fucking ghost, because the idea that someone can ever approve of you and validate you to make you feel good about yourself, first of all, it's only a temporary feeling. Like, it comes as fast as it goes. No, it goes as fast as it goes as fast as it comes. It really is not last longing at all, and it's not gonna fill you up like you think it will. It really isn't. My entire life, I tried to shapeshift into multiple versions of me that I thought maybe this is how I get people to like me. Maybe this is how I get to be popular, because in my schools, there were always like the popular kids. And for some fucking reason, I was always in class with them. I really feel like that was a big thing for me. And I'm glad, because it taught me a lot. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here talking about this today. And I know I needed to experience that so I could also be an inspiration to other people, so I could be a healer, so I could be a vessel for other people to find themselves. And so I'm grateful for that, for sure. But at the time, it wasn't really fun at all. And I struggled with it. I remember, maybe I've told this story before, but I remember that I wrote there, like, between one grade to the other during summer vacation, I remember making a list of things that I needed to do in order to be cool. That's how much I needed it, right? Like, that's how much I was chasing after that validation. Like, I was able to do, or I was willing to do anything in order to be seen and become cool. And a lot of times that came with a very high cost of doing things that were completely out of integrity, completely losing sight of who I was, not really having an identity, because I was always chasing, I was always pretending, I was always masking. And so at some point I really didn't know me anymore. Like, I didn't know what I really liked, I didn't know who I really was, I didn't know what I wanted out of my life. Like, and it was so scary for so long because of that, because I kept seeing everyone else have it all figured out, or at least that's what I perceived. Obviously, I know now that that was very far from the truth. No one had it figured out. But when you're very lost, you feel like everyone else is doing well but you, right? It's not true, but you think that and you feel that way. And basically, like, yeah, it made me even more frustrated to feel like, oh my God, like, everyone knows what they want to do, what they want to pursue. Everyone knows who they are. Everyone feels like they feel steady to me. Like, in my perception of them, people felt steady. And I was over here having like existential crisis at like 13, wondering about myself, wondering about my life, not really understanding what I was doing here as in earth, in life. Like, I was a confused kid. I was a confused teenager, and I struggled a lot with that. And so I really had to go through a bunch of challenges and a bunch of really hard situations, really hard confrontations with that, for me to finally break out of it. And the biggest one for me, the biggest confrontation that I had with that aspect of me, was my relationship of 7 years, where it really made me question everything. Like, it made me question everything beyond everything that I've had ever questioned, right? Because it was in a period where I was starting to grow. You know, you go from like being an adolescent to starting to be a young adult. And so I was starting to figure some things out. Like, I was starting to be very attached to some identities, which came at a cost again, because they were not for my highest good. They were coming a lot of out of ego and out of like just feeling like I needed to belong somewhere and I needed to fit into a box. And so I was the activist, or I was the blogger, or I was the whatever. And it was always at such an extreme. Like, it was never like, oh, I'm just vegan, or I eat blah, blah, and I believe in this, and that. Like, if I had a belief, I had to make it my entire identity, because that's how I felt in control in a way. That's how I felt like I belonged somewhere. But really, like, I understand now that there's no such thing. Like, you're so many things, and it's okay that it doesn't fit into a box that you feel like it should, right? The being in my relationship with my ex, it was really confronting, because I had to realize that who I was being was not coming out of a good place. It was coming out of fear of not belonging, out of fear of not being enough, or out of fear of being too much. But overall, it was not coming from self-love. And that relationship taught me self-love through the challenges that I went through. I've talked about this before, but I just wanted to give you some context. You can check out other episodes that I have here about my relationship. You will find them. They're really good. But basically, it was really important for me to start building that relationship with myself. It really was a turning point in my life, and not just my life. Like, I've seen this happen with so many people that I've met, at a point in their lives where they didn't really know that much about themselves. And, you know, because again, we're all figuring it out. And because they built a good relationship with themselves, like, their lives are completely different now. They feel much more confident and much more empowered. And although there's so much uncertainty in life, there is a certainty, which is like, you got you. I think that that's the most powerful thing you can ever do for yourself. It's to have a good relationship with you. Hence me making this episode. I was like, I really want to do this. I don't want people, whether you're single, by the way, or you're in a relationship, I don't want you to think that your relationship with yourself is not important. This is not about not having a lover and being single. Like, sure, I know from my single ladies, okay, this is maybe even more important, because sometimes we want to give up on romance and love, and we stop doing beautiful things because we expect someone else to take us there. We expect someone else to like give us flowers, to buy us gifts, to make us have a good time. We expect other people to provide for us certain things that we could totally be providing for ourselves. It's not a bad thing to want to rely on someone else and to want to build a relationship with someone and expect them to do those things for you. That's not at all what I mean. It's more that you get to do them for yourself too. You don't have to wait for someone to have that initiative. Like, you should be able to have your own initiative if it's important to you and your well-being, right? If it's important for you in your life, you have to do it. You have to go out and do it. You have to go out and show up for yourself. Or more, like, better said, you have to go in and show up for yourself, right? You really got to, because if you don't, then you're gonna feel disconnected and you're gonna feel the need to search outside of yourself for people's validations and approvals, and for you to feel like, you know, you're successful or abundant or loved. You're always gonna try to like chase something, whether that's money and fame, and whether that's I said money, whether that's success in your career, whether that's a lover, whether that's more friends, whether that's a lot of followers. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's more that you search outside of you and you keep searching forever, and it's just not sustainable. But when you have a relationship with yourself, it becomes so sustainable. It becomes overflowing because you are your own source. And so, like, you recycle your own self, if that makes sense. Like, you becoming your own source, it's like a phone that never has to be charged. It just recharges itself. Like, that's it. Like, it's almost like you have a solar power system thingy charging you 24/7. Like, you don't have to do anything. It just, like, you know, it just draws that energy in. And I think that's how powerful it really, really is. For me, it made all the difference in the world. Like, I finally felt like I belonged. I finally started feeling love for myself. Because that's the thing, you cannot have self-love without having a relationship with yourself. I feel like that's a very big misconception, is that like self-love is just something. I feel like people don't even explain what self-love is. I don't think people understand what self-love is, you know? People talk about self-love as this thing like self-care and blah, blah. Like, those things are part of it, but like, self-love is much deeper than that. It's being your own lover. It's being there for yourself with everything that comes with that, right? It's being there for yourself, not just as a lover, but also sometimes as a parent, also sometimes as your best friend, as your biggest supporter, like, but just having a very holistic like way of showing up for yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit, like being there always and forever at all levels. That is so important. And that's how you build a relationship with yourself. And building a relationship with yourself is how you love yourself. You don't love someone that treats you like shit, that talks shit behind your back, or that never shows up for you, that ignores you, that ghosts you, like, that has never been there for you, that you don't trust. You're not gonna love them, and you're not gonna feel loved by them. You don't feel loved by a random stranger on the street, like, right? Like, you don't, because they probably don't love you. Because when someone loves you, they show up, they care, they give you attention, they spend quality time with you, they give you gifts, they make you feel loved. It's a feeling, but it's something you cultivate. And Valentine's Day is important because it gets to be an opportunity for you to do this. I know a lot of you want to start doing it more often. I know a lot of you want to build better relationships with yourself. So make this your opportunity to do so, right? And so, yeah, that is the context. Like, again, this is not just for the single ladies, right? You might have a partner and still you need to show up for yourself, because he or she or they will not be able to show up for you all the time, every single day, always, at the depth that you really need, right? Like, there's things only you can do for yourself, which is making space for your emotions and your thoughts. Like, yes, someone else can make space for you, but if you're not making it for yourself, there's so much that you are abandoning that you're not even noticing. And so this is not about relationships. I'm not here to shit on relationships. Let me start here. Start after 15 minutes of talking. But yes, let me start here. Like, this is not shitting on relationships. I'm not anti-relationships. I'm definitely not anti-Valentine's Day. And it's actually funny because I used to be anti-Valentine's Day. I used to be like, yeah, it's just like something for companies and it's like their agenda and blah blah. Like maybe yes, maybe it is, but I really don't care. I've noticed that I feel good celebrating these days. Like, it feels good. I don't know why, but it makes me feel good. Like Christmas, I love Christmas. Like, sure, maybe you wouldn't have to buy gifts to other people. Like, it doesn't have to be this marketing thing. It is, but it is what it is. I don't care. I love these like special days. Like, that's such a human thing, and I think it's really romantic, as in like romanticizing life. I feel like Valentine's Day and days like that make it so special to be human, right? And so it's like, I love Valentine's Day, and I used to not want it, but I think it's because I thought I couldn't want it. It's because I thought like it was not necessary. But the truth is, it's always good to have like an extra a reason to show up for someone, and in this case, show up for yourself. But when I have a boyfriend, when my soulmate husband shows up in my life, I don't know when that's gonna be, but eventually when he does, I'm gonna want to celebrate. I'm gonna want him to like buy me flowers and treat me right, and maybe like do a bath for me, like we can shower together, or we can go to the movies, or we can go to a nice fancy dinner. Like, I want to feel like a princess. And the thing is, you don't have to feel like a princess just when you have a lover. Like, you can be your own lover, so you can get into that princess energy yourself, because you are, you shouldn't have to wait for someone to treat you right to go into that softness in you, right? That's what princess energy really is. It's like you going into that softness. You can make that for yourself. Like, you can be in that soft feminine energy of like surrendering and feeling just in love and feeling, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's just soothing. I don't know. It's like smooth and comfortable. It's like a blanket during winter. It's like cozy. I love that energy so much, and I don't want to have to wait to be with a guy to fall into that feminine energy. I don't want to be on top all the time. I'm not a top. I'm a bottom, okay? And I want to do it like that, I want to live my life a lot of my feminine energy, because for my business mostly, I'm in my masculine energy. I'm like doing and being active and, being productive and structuring and analyzing and strategizing and planning and blah, blah. And I love that because I'm a Leo, so I do have a lot of leadership, masculine drive type of energy, but I am also really soft, and I love to just chill, and I love to be in that energy. I love to be the lover, and I don't want to be a lover just for other people. I want to be for myself. I don't want to feel loved and nurtured just when I have a guy by my side, because it's great. Like, it's great to feel loved by someone, but I don't want to depend on it. I don't want to feel like on my own I can't be that person for myself, and I can't be in that lover soft energy. I want that for me, and I know a lot of us want to feel like princesses, but for that to happen, we need to like build self-trust with ourselves, build self-reliability. We need to start showing up for ourselves. We need to start becoming our own lover through our actions, through our attitudes, through our behaviors, even through our thoughts. Like, that's how you start doing that, right? And so, no, this is not anti-Valentine's Day. This is not about glorifying being single or hating on men. Like, no, I love men, I love dating, I love relationships, but we are not hyper independent here, like, no, I'm not gonna glorify independence. It's great to be independent. It's great to be able to rely on you, yes, but it's not the same to never be able to rely on someone else. So I'm not gonna go there, right? Like, that's not this conversation. This podcast is all about embracing all of you and embracing all that you desire. And we all desire to be loved. So no, I would never shit on romance. And I have so much to tell you. Oh my God, I can't wait. But basically, that's what we want to do this Valentine's Day. We want to create an opportunity for us to be our own lovers and show up for ourselves. So how do we do that? Okay, first of all, I would say, well, Valentine's Day is on the 14th. I'm pretty sure it's on the 14th of February, which is great. But the thing is, it's on a Wednesday, and I know a lot of you guys who work, have full-time jobs or part-time jobs or study or blah blah blah. Either way, during the week is usually not the best, but still, you got to do what you got to do. So do not give yourself an excuse, okay? That's the first thing. That's the first step of this guide for Valentine's Day, is don't make excuses. Find a way to show up for yourself. Because I promise you, if you had a fucking boyfriend and he would tell you, like, let's go on a date, let's do this, let's spend time together, you would say yes. So say yes to yourself, right? Like, say yes to yourself. Do not make up excuses. You know you want to, you know you need to, so just do it. Even if it's 1 hour, even if it's 2, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't have a budget. It doesn't matter if you have no money. If it doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of time, you can still show up for yourself. Now that we've handled that, the actual first step is to define your budget. You might want to spend some money. You might want to do something special for yourself. You might want to, you might not want to, or you might not be able to at this point. But anyways, define your budget. If it's €1, maybe buy some candles, or buy, I don't know, some popcorn or a snack that you like that is under €1. I know that doesn't give you a lot of room, but there's still stuff out there under €1, I'm sure. If it's €5, then maybe buy some candles and buy a snack, or buy whatever the fuck you want, or buy some flowers, because if you go to a grocery store, sometimes they have like flower bouquets, and a lot of the times they're under €5. You can buy yourself a dinner if you don't mind spending a little bit more money. You can order in. Sometimes there's like discounts on Uber Eats and all of those like apps, right? You can make a home cooked meal. Like, it doesn't have to be going out and spending a ton fucking money. Like, use what you have. Oh my god, this is a great tip, by the way. Use what you have. Find every fucking ingredient you have in your kitchen. You don't even have to buy new things unless it's literally completely empty. Then girl, please buy something. Buy some food, okay? But you can go to Google Bard, which is basically an AI search thingy. You get to ask questions, and you can ask, look, I have this, and this. Give me a good, simple recipe. I've done this so many times when I don't have a lot of food in the house, and I'm like, I've eaten pretty good food because of this. So that is your tip for today. That is really, I'm so glad I remembered that. If you love that and you use it, make sure to DM me about this on Instagram. I would love to see what you did. But yeah, Google Bard, okay? And make a home cooked meal for yourself. Make it fancy, like play some songs. If you do have candles in the house, or if you don't mind buying them, buy and just make it a candlelight dinner and some romantic movie on Netflix. I'm obsessed with rom-coms. You can make it so special, and it can be very cheap. It can be free. It can be whatever you want. Do not create limits for yourself, because I think that's just like holding you back from building such a beautiful life for yourself and a good, strong connection with you. That's where self-trust comes from. That's where self-love comes from. That's where your inner power comes from. It's by being there. It's by being in you, if that makes sense. Because if you're always out there in your external reality and everything is about what's happening around you, and it's never about you internally, your well-being, your emotional state, your mind, your thoughts, you're not in you. And you need to be inside of you, inside of your energy, in your inner world, to be able to kind of draw in that force, that life force, that energy, that power, that goddess fucking energy. That's the type of shit I teach in the goddess codes. Like, that is literally it. You harness that inner goddess from spending time with you, from cultivating your relationship with yourself. So do not make excuses, okay? Show up for you however you can. You can make it a cute date. You can sing. You can take a nice hot shower. You can buy like some shower steams It's like basically it creates steam in the shower, and give yourself a like spa type of vibe. You don't have to go to an actual spa if you don't have the money to. If you do, book a massage. Spend some time with yourself. Like do something special for you, right? That's what I want you to do this Valentine's Day. This Valentine's Day, do something special for you. Be your own lover. Give yourself some chocolates. Give yourself some flowers. Spend some quality time with you. That is the most important thing you will ever have, yourself. You're gonna live, exist, and die with yourself. No matter what happens, you're gonna have you always. So why not build that sacred relationship with you rather than feeling completely disconnected? Because if you've been on this podcast for a while, you already know that your internal reality creates your external reality. So if you're completely disconnected inside of you, you're going to create disconnection outside of you. You're not going to be able to feel like you're living the life of your dreams, like you have purpose, like you have meaning, because you don't have yourself. You're not connected to your essence, to your energy, to your gifts, to your purpose, right? To your spirit. Like that is so freaking important. So do things that really nurture you, mind, body, and soul, whatever it is. Just make sure that it's quality time with yourself. If you like art, for example, go paint, go make some origami. Like you probably have a paper around the house. Like do something, sing, play, dance, make a puzzle if you have a puzzle. Like whatever it is, just do it. Just spend that time with you. Stop ignoring yourself, right? I really want you to know that this is so freaking important. Don't ignore this. It might be like the silliest little idea, but I hope that so far throughout this episode I've like explained to you, and I hope you understand like it really isn't a small thing. It's the biggest thing. You are the biggest thing in your whole reality. And so yeah, do something cute. Last year, oh my god, I'm so excited to tell you this. Okay, so last year I decided to spend Valentine's Day on my own because I didn't have a lover. I was in a was I? No, actually at the time my situationship had just ended, actually, because he went away to another country and that's when shit started. But that's fine, because my point is, either way, even if he was here, I would still have spent that day, or at least enough hours for me to feel like I dated myself, right? And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna define a budget. I'm not like very big on my budget right now, and also I had that idea last minute, so I didn't plan that much. But I was like, I can maybe buy some food because I love food, so I was like, that's definitely going to be included in the budget, and I can just like make some time for myself. So I ordered some ice cream, Ben & Jerry's cookie dough, the vegan one, because although I'm not vegan anymore, I don't like the milk flavor of ice cream. So I still love the vegan one. It tastes so fucking good. I literally eat that shit so fast. I get sick after, but it's so good. I love the cookie part of the cookie dough. I hate the chocolate part because I'm not big on chocolate. I know, shocking. I'm a sweet person, but I love my salt. I love salt so much. Okay, and I watched a movie. That was it. Last year was that. I don't remember what else I did. I'm pretty sure I also took a bath and I spent some time like that with myself. But it was it, and it felt really good. It felt good to be my own lover. I felt nourished. I felt hugged. I felt hugged and embraced by myself. I swear there is no better feeling than to feel like you are at home with you. And this year, I had more time to plan. Oh my god, guys. Okay, so this year, I wanted to do something crazy. And I'm not saying that you have to do it this way, by the way, because every single way you can do this, do it. So this is not me saying like, oh, this is the only way. Like, I've given you a bunch of fucking ideas, but as someone that like shares here on the podcast, as one of the girls, and you are my girls, right? I gotta share this with my girls, which is I'm gonna spend Valentine's Day in Paris. in Paris, girls. Oh my god, I'm super excited about this. I haven't shared this with anyone, by the way. You're gonna be the first to know. I'm only gonna share this when I actually go, because I don't like to share my travels before it actually happens, because you never know, and I don't want people to get expectations. I would rather not create those expectations and build up on that, but I'm so freaking excited. So I decided, actually, when I was back in the Netherlands with my best friend, we were doing our vision boards, and I started thinking, like, what do I want to do this year? And I remembered that, like, Valentine's Day is in February, and I was like, damn, like, this is not that far away. What am I gonna do? And suddenly I just had this idea of, like, I would love to go to Paris. And I'm like, Bia, are you fucking insane? Paris, 2 months, like, in 2 months, like, are you crazy? And it was so crazy because my sister, a few hours later, sends me a message asking me if I want to go somewhere, and she mentions Paris, and I'm like, dude, are you actually crazy? Like, I was just thinking about this. And the days that she was thinking about, although it was not, for her, it was not about Valentine's Day, for me definitely was, it was the same. Like, everything was just lining up, and I'm like, yes, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. So I'm gonna be spending Valentine's Day with my sister in Paris, in Paris. I'm so excited for that. And still, I want to make sure that you know that although I'm gonna be with her, I'm gonna make sure that at least on the 14th, I want to spend some time with myself. Whatever that looks like, I don't know still. I don't know yet. But that's really important for me, is to make sure that I spend some quality time with myself. But I think it's going to be a great experience to bond with my sister. It's going to be a great experience for me. Like, I've never been to Paris. I've never been there, and I know it's going to be so romantic. And although I'm single, and maybe I'm going to feel really fucking sad sometimes, because I'm just going to see so many couples, and I'm going to be like, damn, I really want my man. It's fine, you know. I want to embrace this feeling, because I don't want to hate on couples. I think it's so easy to hate on couples, and I don't mean hate as in, like, they actually suck. Like, I know I always say it as in a joking way, like, oh, like, look at them just being all cute, you know. But the truth is, I think I do that as a coping mechanism, because I do want it, and so I'm like, fuck them, kind of, you know. And I don't want to be like that, because I know deep down I don't feel that way. Deep down, it just reminds me that it's something that I long for. It's something that I genuinely desire in my life, and I want that to feel exciting, even if it's sometimes it hurts a little, even if sometimes I have to embrace that feeling of neediness, of wanting that connection, of desiring sex, of desiring intimacy with someone. Like, I get that. I want to make space for all of me. So I want to make space for my romantic ass, while also making space for, you know, okay, yeah, during this moment, I'm not in a relationship. I'm not really seeking out for it anymore. And so I'm gonna also embrace the feeling of neediness, the feeling of being horny, the feeling of all those things. Like, I really do want to, because I don't want to reject that. Because if I reject that, I also reject the romance. I also reject the romantic Bia version of me that I don't want to abandon, because I'm scared or I'm uncomfortable with the feeling of wanting a relationship, you know. And so it's gonna be a bit confronting, I feel like, but in the best way. And I'm really excited, because I feel like maybe now I actually think I'm gonna, like, see someone propose to someone. It's probably not gonna be me, unless there's, like, a drunk guy somewhere. But I feel that. I feel like I'm gonna see a lot of couples and people propose. It's gonna be so romantic. And although it's my sister that is gonna be there with me, we've never done a trip together, like, on our own. And I think this is gonna be an amazing opportunity to build that relationship with her too, and to do something nice for myself. I love that I get to do this. And maybe next year I'm gonna stay at home again, and buy some flowers and have an intimate ritual with myself. Because also, for my witchy and spiritual girls out there, you can literally light some candles, put rose petals in your bath or on your candle, but make sure that you're not putting it close to the fire, okay? Believe me, I've learned my lesson with that one. You can do some oils and essential oils, or a rose scented candle. You can do all of that, and make it a little ritual with yourself. There's so many self-love rituals out there. If you want some, I actually have some ideas that I can give you, because I'm witch as fuck. I'm witchy, and although I don't practice that often anymore, I can still give you some ideas. So if you want, DM me on Instagram and say witchy Valentines, and I will give you some of my favorite rituals that I've done so far. But yeah, so that is the biggest part of this podcast, is to spend quality time with yourself. Make sure that you are giving yourself love. Ask yourself, if I was with someone right now, or even if you are, what would you want them to do for you? What would you love? What would make you feel nurtured by them? What would make you feel loved, right? And do that for yourself. That is like the best thing you could ever do for yourself. Whatever makes you feel loved, do that for you. Do that for you. It is life-changing, guys. I'm not joking. It is absolutely life-changing. And you don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to do something too big. You don't need to go to Paris. If you can, go to Paris and visit me, you know what I mean? But if you can't, it doesn't make you less Valentine-y, like, it really doesn't. Oh my god, I need to sneeze. Okay, wait. Thank you, if you said bless you. Let me drink some tea, girls. Today, let me do some ASMR for you. I don't got nails. But today, my drink of choice is tea, because my dad prepared it. And it's cold tea, because I don't know, I'm not feeling the warm tea right now. So cold tea, just simple. Well, it's actually not cold, it's more like room temperature tea. So dirty water, pretty much. Damn, spicy dirty water, because it has ginger. Let me go to my notes. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So yeah, actually I do want to talk about something before we go, which is most people, society in general, things are changing. I feel like that, but people don't really encourage you to spend money on yourself, or spend time with yourself for that matter. But I think sometimes we feel guilty for spending money on ourselves. We feel guilty for buying ice cream or buying ourselves flowers. Like, what a fucking waste. But is it a waste when someone does that for us? Or do we genuinely love that? Does that make us feel like princesses? Again, like, that is such a big question. What makes you feel like a princess? What makes you feel like special? Start doing that for you in every way. It's not going to feel the same as when someone does it. It's a different energy, and it doesn't have to feel the same. You're not here trying to substitute one love for the other. Your self-love is different than the love you're going to feel for a partner. That's something that I really had to also come to terms with, which was like, I was trying to substitute one for the other. I was like, damn, I don't have a partner right now, and I need to feel that love. Like, I need to feel that kind of empty space. But the truth is, you don't. It's okay that sometimes it feels a bit lonely, or you would like to have a partner. Again, this is not like, one thing doesn't exclude the other, but it's more like, find a way to fill yourself with your love. It isn't gonna feel like with a partner or the love of a friend. It's different. Those are different kinds of loves, but your love matters so much, and it matters more than anyone else's, because although everyone else's love is also important to you, like, having family love, having friends love, having romantic love, like, all of that is of course important, but it is never more important than your own. And yours is always first, because again, you will always be with you. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, like, not everyone is going to encourage you to spend money on yourself, and maybe a part of you will feel guilty for it. And that gets to be okay, and you still get to go out and do it. You still get to go out and give yourself some treat, because when was the last time you treated yourself with something nice, with something special? When was the last time you did it consciously, not just like, oh my god, I feel like eating chocolate, and you bought like a box of chocolates, or like, like, actually intentionally being like, I want to spend some quality time with myself. I'm making space today. I'm putting it in my schedule. Like, do that, you know? And maybe people won't understand. They don't have to. Maybe a part of you judges yourself for doing that. That gets to be okay. It's something that you're going to learn with time. It's something that is going to start shifting. You get to spend money on yourself. That is not wasted money. Believe me. The best thing you can do with your money is spend it on things that make you feel truly fulfilled and nurtured. And so do that. I feel like that's it for today's episode. I'm kind of surprised at myself, to be honest, because you guys know I usually talk a lot, but I guess today's a shorter message than usual. I just wanted to come in here and say this because it is really important, and I wanted to make sure that I gave you an opportunity to really consider this and think about what you can do for yourself this Valentine's Day. And also, if you really can't spend Valentine's Day with you, then extend it throughout the entire week. Make it a Valentine's week. Make it a Valentine's weekend. Like, you decide. And also, this is one day, but you're supposed to do this more often. I'm just encouraging you to do it now, because maybe you haven't started this journey, maybe you have just started, maybe you're still not used to giving yourself time. Make this your fucking excuse to do so, right? But it doesn't mean that you only show up for yourself again next year, next Valentine's Day. No. You would not like that type of relationship where you don't ever receive love besides when someone really has to, because it's like, oh, it's a special date again, right? No, you want to receive gifts whenever, you know? You don't want to be expecting for it. You just want to have it all the time, if it's possible. You don't want someone to love you if you ask for it, or someone to touch you when you ask. You want someone to want to do that, right? So learn to want that for you. And how you do that is by just starting. Because it's the hardest part is to start showing up. The hardest part is to start giving yourself that love, because it might feel a bit weird if you're completely disconnected. It will probably feel a bit foreign. It will feel very strange and uncomfortable. Still do it, still show up for yourself, because the more you do it, the more you're gonna feel okay. It's normal that it won't feel super nice and you won't instantly go into your feminine energy. It probably won't happen if you don't already have a relationship with yourself, because feminine energy needs trust. It needs solidity. Does that make sense? It needs structure. It needs trust. Let's start there, right? Imagine that you are dating someone. If you don't trust them, will you feel feminine? Will you feel soft? Or will you want to put all your walls up, right? The walls, right? Because if you don't trust someone, if you can't rely on them, if you don't feel safe with them emotionally, mentally, or physically, then you will be at guard. You're going to guard yourself, you're going to protect yourself, and you're going to become distant, you're going to become cold. That's normal, because you don't have trust. And if you don't have self-trust, you're going to feel distant from yourself. You're going to feel like a stranger to yourself. So it is normal that you're going to feel that way. Still go out and do it, because the more you show up, the more it's going to feel familiar, and the more it's going to feel genuine, and the more you are going to want to do it anyways. Nowadays, I love showing up for myself. Sometimes I still forget, we all do. This is something habits take time, but habits are not it's not necessarily that every day I always show up for myself equally at the same level. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it takes me a little longer, but I always come back to myself, because I already miss me, if I don't show up for myself, I miss me. I miss spending quality time with myself. I miss being there for my inner child. I miss holding space for my emotions and my thoughts. And so very quickly I go okay, I need to journal today. Okay, I need to do this. Okay, I need to meditate. Okay, I need to hug myself. I need to take a nice shower. I need to be there, right? Your presence is gonna start. You're gonna start noticing lack of your presence, because right now you've been without yourself in a way, throughout your entire life. You've learned that behavior from your parents, I'm guessing, from them not validating you, or maybe not always being there for you in the way that you needed at the time. It's not necessarily that they did a bad job, but we're all so different, and sometimes what we desire from a parent is not necessarily what they're willing or capable of giving us, or maybe they just don't understand, or like, because we're all so different in our perception of what someone, or of what makes us feel loved and what would make others feel loved might not be what they actually need to feel love, if that makes sense. So it's like everyone's love languages are different. For me, it's quality time, and so for me, that's really important. If yours is physical touch, start giving yourself some hugs. Start like massaging yourself, like massaging your scalp, taking care of your skin, like, take care of yourself. Become a regular in your own life. Become a presence that you want to go back to, not a presence that you want to run away from. You would not want a stranger living in your house, because it feels uncomfortable as fuck. Like, you can't poop, you can't fart, you can't burp, you can't sing out loud, you can't get angry, you can't, like, you feel weird. But if you have someone that you're really, really familiar with, you feel like at home, right? That's the feeling that you get when you have a relationship with yourself. It really is important, guys. It will change your life 100%. And if you're just starting this journey and you don't know exactly what to do and how to do it, but you really desire this, like the freedom, the confidence, that feeling of belonging, that feeling of love, deep love for yourself, that allows you to go out and live the life of your dreams, live a full, meaningful, purposeful life. If you desire that for yourself, go to the Goddess Codes. This is my most amazing program so far. I mean, I'm coming up with a new one, so after that I cannot say which one is the best. Like, they're both amazing, but this membership, the Goddess Codes, is a great place to start. It is the starting point. I teach the foundations of self-love and tapping into your power, tapping into your inner goddess, so that you can really harness that energy and start creating the life of your dreams. And the girls in the Goddess Codes have been improving so much. Like, they're setting boundaries, they are choosing themselves, they are like growing in love with themselves, they're growing in their own confidence and power, they're taking bolder moves, like taking bolder actions towards their dreams and the reality that they want to create. Like, it's so big, it's so impactful. This work is literally life-changing, and it's all I teach about inside the Goddess Codes. It's only 55 euros a month. You get to cancel whenever you want. And it's such a big opportunity because it's 2 calls a month. One of them is a masterclass. So you get a masterclass and you get lifetime access to all the masterclasses that I've done. Like, even before you enter, you have lifetime access to all of that. It's insane. The value inside of it, it's so freaking, I want to say freaking and fucking at the same time. It's so fucking crazy and insane and absolutely mind-blowing to to know and to understand all the value that is inside the little 55 euros that you gotta pay. Like, it's crazy. And I really think it will be very valuable to you if you're just starting this journey. It is a great space too. Like, these girls are absolutely incredible. And I'm there. I'm always there in the group chat, giving tips, giving suggestions, prompting the members to work on themselves, asking them questions, making them reflect, giving them my insights, sharing personal things on a daily basis. It's a really intimate space. It is beautiful. It is super inspirational. You're gonna love it there. And I'm gonna leave all that in the description of this episode. And it's also in the link of my bio on my Instagram if you want to check it out. But that is it, guys. I think that is it. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it gave you some ideas of what you can do for this Valentine's Day. And if you loved this episode, if you don't already, make sure that you're following the show, because these episodes are amazing. Like, literally, you get so much value out of each episode, and they're coming out every Thursday. They're so consistent. So it's like your growth, self-love buddy. Like, you always have this podcast that is guiding you, inspiring you, helping you activate that part of yourself, the best version of you, the highest version of you. Like, that is what I do here. Girls, I hope you enjoyed today, and I will talk to you very, very soon with some updates of my incredible trip. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.